Hey, I'm Christine Weber. Thanks so much for being here. This is my weekly live stream. Um, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about what I've been working on for the past few weeks, which is um, a little offering to share the Subtle Yoga Resilience Society with y'all. But first, I wanted to say a few personal things about what's been going on in my life. I'm in Asheville, North Carolina, and this morning I was feeling really anxious. I had a difficult time sleeping and just feeling like, revved up. And in reflecting upon that, I'm kind of like, I kind of run that way, like a vata sort of dysfunction. Sort of, that's my thing. And as I've gotten older, that's been more pronounced, and certainly with menopause, that comes out for a lot of us. But um, that what happened here a month ago has been quite traumatic for a lot of us. And I kept thinking, well, I didn't have anything happen. My house is fine. We didn't have any trees fall down. We had water back on within a week. We had power in 2 weeks and 2.5 weeks. And I thought, you know, like I don't have anything to complain about. And I think that's a really common, I've talked to lots of people who've been through this experience. I think it's a really common feeling like, well, I didn't lose my house, and so I have nothing to feel anxious about, right? um, and yet I'm feeling anxious. I was like, this morning, I was like, oh, I need a lot of practice. I'm feeling the anxiety. And that is so common with mass when you have these kind of mass traumatic experiences like we had here in Nashville. I have friends who live in the city. They still don't have water they can drink coming out of the faucets. It's so cloudy. You can flush your toilets with it. Probably better not to take a bath in it. So there are still people living in the trauma, not even in the aftermath yet. And I'm listening to those stories frequently, right? So I think it's a really common experience. And the thing that I reflected on this morning, that I started to notice this morning, is that as that kind of anxiety kicks up for me, I start to feel grumpy and angry at the world, and more fearful of the world. It's just like a typical projection kind of defense mechanism that I think is so common. Oh my goodness, look at what's going on out there in the world. There's so much projection, So I think I was doing that. I have been like projecting a lot, and my blogs were of course, my blogs get spicy sometimes. It's my menopausal spiciness, but I've been writing more, just feeling kind of like the injustice that we feel in our world, but also feeling that injustice in my small yoga world too. And so that was a really interesting thing that popped up for me in meditation, was like, oh, that's your behavior is a reflection of what's going on in your life. And we can say that that's accurate for for all of us, all of the time. So I've been sort of reflecting on that and feeling a sense of like, okay, chill the heck out. I used a spicier word than heck, but chill out, chill out a little bit and let yourself, have some more peaceful time, more downtime, more time for reflection and integration, because that's what you have to do. I've been teaching about trauma for 15 years. That's what you have to do after traumatic situations, is give yourself that space to integrate. Because of what's going on in my work and all this, things happening, I wasn't giving myself that space. So that is my plan. Get myself some more space for integration. Also, I have like friends coming in, a ton of friends coming in this weekend, bringing 4 semi trucks down from my high school in Pennsylvania, full of supplies. So I'm like trying to organize that. I have another one of my friends coming this weekend to stay at our house with us so she can volunteer. That's what's being asked for right now more than stuff. So I have been trying to help my friends with the semi trucks understand that it's like you can't just come here and dump off stuff anymore. Nobody is happy with that. They need people to organize things, to put things in the right place, to take things to the right agencies. Like that's what's going on right now. There's been a lot of requests for money, and there's GoFundMe campaigns because people need to pay their mortgages even when their houses are gone. Some people are letting the foreclosures happen, but people need to pay for groceries. They don't want to just eat food that's being, served. They want to eat what their families used to eating. Stuff like that is being requested right now. Volunteer time is being requested. So as I navigate all that stuff, in terms of the community, I have to be really vigilant to be mindful of how it's affecting me personally. And I am no superhero. I'm not Wonder Woman. I'm not a realized yogi. Like yoga practices are great and they help me a lot, but it's not the answer. It's not like, and it would just be spiritual bypassing, I think, to just be like, I'm a yogi, so this stuff doesn't affect me. That's nonsense. And I refuse to live like that or to project myself like that. So all of that being said, we decided several weeks ago, we decided that it was time to open the doors to the Subtle Yoga Resilience Society. Like, this is my life's work, and I was born as a highly sensitive person and had earaches and stuff as a baby that, increased that my sensitivity to pain, discomfort, nociceptive stuff, right? So this is what I've learned to do to regulate. I've learned the self-reflection stuff, the cognitive piece. I finally got to that this morning, but I've also learned the bottom-up stuff, the yoga practices that have helped me be able to navigate being in this world when I don't feel like I should be in this world. Like I feel like I was meant for a different planet, and I think a lot of highly sensitive people have that, have that kind of feeling. So, so I've learned how to do this stuff. I love sharing it. And right now we're having a trial basis. So for 2 weeks, you can join for 2 weeks. It's like $19. So it's very affordable so that you can check out the whole library. You can come to live classes and you can also check out my whole library. So I encourage you to check out the link. I'll put it in the description. And then also I have this 3 shifts webinar, which is really my formula for being successful as a teacher of slow, mindful, interoceptive, and intuitive, subtle practices. Like it's not easy out there in a world that looks at yoga like it's another fitness strategy. So if you're interested, you can check that webinar is free. You can check it out. I also have an offer in that webinar, but that's, but the information is still really good. So I encourage you to check that out too. So anyway, that's, I hope that's helpful in terms of my sharing how the experience of what it feels like to be in the middle of experiencing a community trauma. I want to send lots of prayers and, thoughtful vibrations, positive vibrations to the folks in Valencia. I saw that there was a huge flood there yesterday, I think. So I realize it's not isolated. I realize lots of people are going through experiences like this all over the world. And we got our practices, and we got each other. So thanks so much for being here. Please leave a comment. Lots of love, and I'll see you next week. Take care.